Y'all got me in here singing today. Y'all know how I always start the show. And when I'm in here putting the show together, I have the other TVs on and my Pandora loose end station be playing. I didn't have it on today, but I was getting ready to set the lights and I went in my closet to get this. I told y'all I had pieces. Okay, now I'm gonna tell y'all what's going on with my pieces. The problem that I'm having now with pulling my pieces out is that I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like I'm wasting my pieces coming on here and doing this. Because I put my pieces on and then I gotta go hang it back up in my closet. And if they be like, oh, come to Carly Red restaurant premiere, then I can't put this piece back on because when Freddie O take the pictures of me, y'all gonna be like, we already seen that. And that's why, and so I'm going through a thing right now, right? Because I know in order to elevate and take my brand to the next level, I need to wear pieces. But I don't be liking to waste my pieces just to come in here and do a little yang, yang, yang around the house. Now, I see a lot of stuff that's saying, y'all don't see me, YouTube is suspended, my screen went out, and then I see some people saying, go in your YouTube and come back out. They say the screen is black. My screen is very much live. Can y'all girls see me? Some people saying YouTube been acting up all days. They say YouTube, bro, it ain't you. Do I need to take this piece off? Because if y'all can't see me, I take this shit off. And then can y'all hear me? I know the people saying they can't hear me, can't see me. Can y'all hear me? Okay, the people said they back. It ain't my line, honey. It ain't my line. I'm finna say, honey, I'm right there. I like to call this piece Misty Blue. My whole world turns misty blue. Oh, I can't forget you. My whole world turns misty blue. Or whatever. Y'all ain't finna have me wear out all my pieces or whatever before the year be out. Anyway, some of y'all got to come in and come back out. So I'm gonna play this commercial to give y'all a chance. Hey, child. You know me? It's Funky Dineva, urban pop culture critic, your internet best friend, and all around fabulous. Let me tell y'all something. My skin is soft, supple, paid for, and smelling like a whole love song. Now let's start with high value. Clove, rose, and oud. It smells like when I walk into a room and people stop talking, it's not because they're scared, but because they know I'm that girl. Soft serve. Oh, she's for the soft life girls who don't have to do a thing but be legendary. Amber, jasmine, saffron. It's giving warm towels, slow mornings, Karen White on repeat, rogue dragon on the floor. And Pharaoh's love, baby, vanilla, white lily, and musk that lingers. It's giving brunch at 1, nap at 3, stretching on 1,000 thread count sheets. I don't need a crown, just this souffle and a playlist. And today, I smell like a mood, a memory, a damn good decision. Body souffle, baby, from butter. Y'all girls make sure, baby, let me tell y'all something. Can we did an hour and 30 minutes yesterday, and I'm gonna be very honest with y'all. I had a long, emotionally draining day today dealing with some family stuff. I'm just in the mood to talk. So if y'all have me, we just gonna take our time tonight and we gonna deep dive on these stories. because today has been one of those days where I've shut myself off from the world. I haven't talked to a lot of people, and I just want to talk. Now I'm looking at the chat, and it's saying, I can't watch you from my TV, but I can watch you from my phone. Some people are saying that they saw on Twitter that YouTube servers have been down and it's been glitching all day, and they say it's a YouTube issue. People are saying that they can watch it from their phones and their iPads, but that they can't watch it from their TVs. So y'all need to figure it out. Oh yeah, something going down real bad because we only got 1,200 people in the congregation today. We usher board number 1. Y'all can go ahead and sit down. We're gonna let them starter hoes on usher board number 3 handle everything. Because ain't nobody in the room. Let me see. We at 1,400 now. Let me see if I sing. Come on in the room, hey. Come on in my room. We got 1,500 in the thing now. It's definitely a YouTube issue, guys, but I'm going to go ahead and give it the best that I got while I'm on the line. For those that can see me, the legendary Shirley Murdoch taught me. She said, whether it's 3 people in the audience or 3,000, you got to give them 3 people the same show. You would give the 3,000, and that stuck with me forever, and that's what the hell I'm finna do. So let's go ahead and get this show started, guys. I know I prided myself on saying that this was going to be a Charlie Kirk free zone, but I thought that it was prudent that we just had a little bit of comedy today, and talk about somebody who tried to slide a Charlie Kirk memorial into the church announcements, and pastor was not having it. Take a look.
I got a couple of announcements for you. Martha Circle, October the 14th, 9:30 a.m. Please bring snacks. Wear red for Charlie's birthday. October. Huh? No. You didn't run that by me? No. We're not wearing red for Charlie Kirk's birthday. We're not going to do that. This church does not make political statements in terms of a particular person or ideology. We are not wearing red for Charlie Kirk's birthday. If you want to wear red, you do that. This church is not doing that.
And that's that on that. I want to tell y'all something. So I love the way the pastor handled that, honestly and truthfully. Churches are not supposed to be places of political statements or ideologies, and that's what he was saying. He took the very nice way to do it. I think the trifling thing and the most disturbing thing about all of this, right? Black people, we definitely are not a monolith. We're not a monolith, right? We're not. And we all don't have the same background and we all don't have the same experiences. But it's just unfortunate that there seems to be in 2025 very few causes that Black people can get behind as a whole. And it would seem to me that feeling no ways tired for Charlie Kirk would be one of those things that most Black people would be on board with. And to think that there was somebody in the church space that felt it prudent to slide in there, let's wear red for Charlie Kirk. Now, I'm going to take a leap of faith here, and I'm going to assume, because the pastor was Black, that it was a Black church. Okay. Our good brother James Baldwin taught us that there is no greater of a segregated time than high noon on Sunday. There is no greater of a segregated time than high noon on Sunday, because whites and Blacks supposedly serve the same God but go to 2 different churches or whatever. And that's a whole nother conversation we'll have on a whole nother day. But it's astonishing to me that in a Black church situation, somebody would find it prudent to want the entire church to celebrate Charlie Kirk. And I think one of the things that baffles me when we start talking about where we are politically and socially in 2025 is that, and we go round and round on this show about this, some of y'all feel like we don't need leaders. some of y'all feel like we don't need leaders. And when I say things like, I like the fact that Jamal Bryant is, kind of taking the charge. Some of y'all take exception with Jamal Bryant for whatever reason, and that's your prerogative. Um, I just think that things were much better during the civil rights movement when at least it appeared that for the most part, as Black people, we were on one accord. I think Massa has done a very good job with the divide and conquer. And that's why we have people like Stephen A. Smith. And I know that I haven't talked about Stephen A. Smith and Jasmine Crockett on the show. And let me give you guys full transparency. The reason why I haven't done that story is because it upsets me. It upsets me to a place, and I'm just not in a mood right now dealing with my aunt, my stepmom, and other things. I'm just not in a place right now where I can handle additional upset. But people like Stephen A. Smith upset me, guys, because I'm here to tell you, Stephen A. Smith, he doesn't even believe the stuff that's coming out of his mouth. That's the thing. You can't have the upbringing that Stephen A. Smith had, a normal Black people upbringing, and believe the things that are coming out of his mouth. Stephen A. Smith, in my opinion, is one of those Negroes that said, I'm going to get it while the getting is good. F everybody else. It's about me and mine. And I think that is why he goes on, because he's getting a pat on the back from the people that signed his paycheck. And he's feeling like, look, he's one of those low self-esteem Negroes that's like, I'm finally on top. And what I'm doing over here. And then he convinces himself that the rest of us are just jealous. And the higher his paycheck gets and the higher his viewership gets, it reinforces what he's doing. And so he continues to do it. Now, see, here is the difference between what Stephen A. Smith does and what Bill O'Reilly and Tucker Carlson, and Megyn Kelly. Here is the difference between them and him. The difference between them, Stephen A. Smith, because Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson, and Bill O'Reilly, they don't believe what's coming out of their mouth either. You don't make it as far in life as they have, not being rational, reasonable, critical thinkers. They also give whatever opinion, whatever corporation they work for wants them to give in exchange for a paycheck. The difference between them and you, Stephen A. Smith, is that the white community is all right with that. And they're not having to say anything that is anti their community. They're still going to have a safe place to land when it's all said and done. You, on the other hand, I hope that you amass enough wealth to be happy with all of what you're doing. Because after white folks are through with you and you no longer have a seat at their table, you may have your coins, but you won't have a village to come back to. And they always do it. They always want to start coming back over. And the beautiful thing that I like about where Black people are going in these days, we are learning slowly but surely to stop being so damn forgiving and stop being so welcoming. Stephen A. Smith, you need to be careful. You need to be careful. And I will say this one thing, last but not least, as it relates to Stephen A. Smith. Your daughter, from a personality and an energy and an aura perspective, she's not far off from Jasmine Crockett with her sass mouth ass. And I like her. I like your daughter. I like your daughter a lot. I like the fact that your daughter, has a voice, but your daughter, the same energy that runs through Jasmine Crockett is the same energy that runs through your daughter. You better be very careful, because sometimes when the universe can't get a hold of you, they'll get a hold of your children. They will get a hold of your children. Y'all drinking tonight? Somebody just logged in. They must have just got in and said, Funky Dineva got on one of his pieces. Y'all give a special shout out to my stylist, Erica Benoit. About a year or two ago, we had some project. I had a photo shoot. And Erica had went and bought me a whole closet full of pieces. I got a whole bunch. This was one of my pieces. I actually wore this piece to my boyfriend's birthday party that we threw for him one night. Anyway, we're going to move right along. So for those of you guys, somebody asked, has he talked about Tammy Roman yet? I talked about Tammy yesterday and I clipped it. You can go back to YouTube and find that. I talked about Wendy yesterday. You can go back and look at it. The girls eating me up about that Wendy thing, child. I don't give a damn. I said what I said. But for those of you guys who may be curious to know what my fascination is with prostitution, I have one simple answer for you, and it's because I'm from Florida. Take a look at this next video, and then you will completely understand why I am so infatuated with prostitution.
Which place has the most prostitutes in Florida? Most Floridians may not know that the place with the least prostitution in Florida is Weston. So which place has the most prostitutes in Florida? Fifth place, Deerfield Beach. Deerfield Beach, with prostitution along Dixie Highway, spurred by Fort Lauderdale nightlife spillover, draws locals, encouraging police to raid motel-based escort operations periodically. Fourth place, Hollywood. Hollywood, with prostitution in beachfront motels tied to A1A tourist routes, attracts visitors, causing police to increase surveillance on highway-adjacent escort hubs. Third place, Lake Worth. Lake Worth, with prostitution along Federal Highway, driven by Palm Beach County trafficking, lures clients, spurring police to disrupt street-based escort operations through frequent patrols. In the second place, Opa-locka. Opa-locka, with prostitution in motels fueled by Miami's international visitor surge, draws traveling clients, prompting police to investigate hotel-based escort networks regularly. Before announcing the first place, comment in the section below the place you think that has the most prostitutes in Florida. The place ranks first, with prostitution thriving on State Road A1A due to Port Canaveral's cruise ship traffic draw, attracts clients, leading police to monitor streets and motels for escort activities. That's Cocoa Beach.
Now, y'all, I would have never in a million years thought Cocoa Beach would have been the place that was number one. Honestly and truthfully, I thought Miami was going to come in number one. Now, Weston came in number 5 as the place with the least amount of prostitution. Weston is a suburb of the Pembroke Pines, Miramar, Fort Lauderdale area. It's out west. It's in Broward County. Opa-locka is essentially where I'm from. Miami Gardens and Opa-locka / where I came from back in the day called Carroll City. They're one and the same. They're two cities that border each other. The vibe, the temperament, the cost of living, the housing, all of that is kind of one and the same. Opa-locka, Carroll City is the same place. I'm from Opa-locka, Carroll City. My auntie lived in Opa-locka. I lived in Carroll City, and that is why I am in love with prostitution. And I didn't even know why until this study came across my screen, and I didn't realize I just must have been around prostitution all my life, and it somehow or another sank down in my spirit and in my soul. Now, here is what's funny. Tanya J 5993 said, I got married at Cocoa Beach. Girl, you got married to one of your Johns, honey. Girl, tell on yourself without telling on yourself. Let me tell you something. You made it up out the game. Now, if y'all heard me yesterday say, I miss Miami, I had a we're going to talk about it because we taking our time tonight. Last night, I was going through really bad in terms of missing Miami. Let me be perfectly clear with you guys. I don't want to be in Atlanta. Okay? I don't want to be here. My soul is not at rest here. It isn't. But I recognize that I have to be here for access, proximity. Robin, you did all this. I don't build all of this. And there's other people, boyfriends and relationships that I just got to be here for a while. But last night, I was saying, I wish I was driving down A1A with the top down, listening to Lenny Green on Hot 105 as I was leaving some establishment, eating crab claws up in Broward County, making my way back down to Miami Beach. I said that yesterday. It's something about that A1A and them prostitutes, baby. We just somebody said your soul is looking for prostitution. Marnay 9284 said, I live in Cocoa Beach. Unique Hunter said, get you a piece of condo in Miami. So here's what's funny about the condo thing, and maybe y'all can help me out. I got several options. I can go down to Miami and buy me a little piece of condo or something in the $300 range to $350,000 range. It will be a little piece of 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom in an older building, but I can still be in a relatively desirable area. I could either be on Miami Beach, South Beach, but I'm looking at Hollywood. I can do that. If I can find a building that will allow me to Airbnb the unit when I'm not there, I'd do it with no problem. Or if I can find a unit where all in mortgage and HOA fees, I'm not spending no more than $2,100 or $2,500 a month, I'll do it and don't even worry about Airbnb it. Then part of me was like, okay, Q, just rent an apartment down there. Like, just find you a little piece of apartment and just rent an apartment. That's always an option. I can go down there tomorrow and rent an apartment. And then, my friend James said to me one time, he said, Q, you keep talking about missing Miami. And he said, you don't have to buy a place in Miami. He said, you have the resources to just go to Miami whenever you want. Just go stay in a hotel, stay in an Airbnb. And while I agree with James, what it is I'm in search of, a sense of home, a sense of normalcy, a sense of stability, a sense of calm, comfort, and familiarity, I can't get that staying in a hotel or an Airbnb. So what I am thinking about, somebody said, Q, you need to go to therapy. Child, tell me about it. What I am thinking about, though, is getting a condo in an older building in Hollywood Beach. I love Hollywood. That Hollywood area is very cute. And then just buy me a little piece of Corolla or just a little piece of Altima, a little piece of Camry, a little piece of RAV4, just a little piece of paid off something, a little piece of Ford Focus, and just leave it down there. Now, the thing about it is, y'all gonna have to work with me, because if I do that, I'm gonna have to throw a green screen up, and we're gonna have to float between being in the studio with my pieces and being down there on that green screen. But we're gonna make it happen. So that's what's going on, and Miami is the place for prostitution. Moving right along, guys. Nikki Minaj says she not putting out no album no more after explosive tweets from Roc Nation execs. So Nicki Minaj shocked fans after firing off a series of explosive tweets aimed at Roc Nation executives, including Desiree Perez and Jay-Z, before announcing she's scrapping her upcoming album entirely. They came begging the Queen for a tour and an album, and I said no. Nicki wrote, they needed help from the Queen and the Barbs. I called the Barbs on the secret Barb phone, and it was a resounding no. The rapper also appeared to take direct aim at Roc Nation CEO Desiree Perez, writing blah, 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 blah. All right, here's the thing. Again, I'll be the first person to admit to y'all, I don't be all in and out with this Nicki Minaj stuff because I'm just too damn old for it. I'm more well-versed in Luther Vandross getting into it with Anita Baker. That's more my speed when it comes to mediating entertainment beef. But without having to know all the details, it goes without saying that Nicki Minaj is buying into her own hype, okay? They came begging the Queen for a tour and begging her for an album, positioning herself as if the industry just cannot survive if she don't give them an album or if she don't give them the tour. And Nikki, that's not the case. It simply is not the case. You are not music's first superstar, and you damn sure won't be the last. God forbid anything ever happened to you, Nicki Minaj, but if you vanished off the face of the earth today or tomorrow, the music industry and Rock Nation would still find a way to go on forevermore. All right. I hate to get in here and I don't want to compare you to Cardi and do all that type of stuff, but all of this is giving that you just feel a way because you are approaching the tail end of your tenure in the space. And what I'm not understanding, and I'm a firm believer of this, and it's something that I have to do and that I had to do. And this is why I always find it important for me to go back to Miami every 6 weeks, is to stay grounded. Nikki, I honestly think that you need to find one of your old friends from your old hood and you need to go spend the weekend at their house. You need to spend the weekend sleeping in the environment that you climbed out of. You need to spend the weekend hanging out at the corner bodega that you used to hang out before you became a superstar. You need to spend a weekend hanging around the people that knew you from high school in your early 20s. And here is the reason why. I feel like if Nicki Minaj was to take a trip down memory lane, that it would put all of this in perspective. It would put every single ounce of what you got going on right now and these internet crash outs, it will put them in perspective. Nicki Minaj, it's very evident that you have lost sight of how far you've come, where you've come from, and everything that you've accomplished. For crying out loud, you are effing Nicki Minaj. Like, you will forever be able to walk in any room for the next 2,000 years. If it's not you, it'll be your spirit, or it'll be your children, or your grandchildren's great grandchildren. They will forever be able to walk into a room and be like, I am one of the great descendants of Nicki Minaj. Because you crashing out like regular people. And there, I know that money does not fix everything, but money sometimes causes people to forget, just how far they've come because you get so used to your new life, you forgot your old life. Nicki Minaj, you got too much influence, power, money, respect, access, and way too many pieces to be doing all this. You just do. You do, Nikki. You do. You do. When just about every single last person on my live right now, you just give us one of your hit songs and $500,000, we'll be happy for the rest of our damn life. You've accomplished so much in one lifetime that you completely lost sight of how great you are. And like Nikki, this I could have used this as an opportunity to go in and let half and tear you down because I hate black women, right? And instead, sis, I'm using this as an opportunity to remind you, like, truthfully. And you say you pulling your album, honestly and truthfully, Nikki, if you really want to know the truth, you ain't even gotta put that album out. And your place in hip hop history is still cemented. What are you doing? And I think that some of this is a prime example of what happens when people don't elevate their circles their friend groups, and they say you could take a person out the hood, but you can't take the hood out of a person. Like, honestly and truthfully, Nikki, you should be rolling in circles with people who are like checking you left and right for crashing out like this. And I don't know the ins and outs of your relationship, but from the outside looking in, a lot of people would say it's your husband. Which brings me to another point. You know, a man's job is to protect and provide. And it doesn't always have to look like money, but part of protecting and providing is protecting you from yourself and protecting the kingdom. You're the queen, helping you protect the kingdom. And he's failing at that. He's failing. And if at anything, not only is he failing at it, I believe your husband is fueling much of what you're going through. Nikki, it is giving that you're miserable. It is, because happy people don't act the way you act. Happy people do not act the way you act. And people who are cognizant of their blessings don't act the way you act. Nikki, there'd be no way in hell God would have blessed me to be in this arena and amass $150 million or more like you have, plus worldwide fame, influence, and access, and then I would be on TV, on the internet, acting like this. And speaking about your husband, let's talk about your credit card. Nikki Minaj shares screenshots showing transactions for $7,000, $8,000, $5,000, $4,000 from 3 different people in a span of 2 months that allegedly charged her Amex without her permission. Your husband. Nikki, when I went down to Florida State University and got my degree in economics, them people ain't teach me nothing about fraud investigation. Them people ain't teach me nothing about Reno 911. Them people ain't teach me nothing about how to work on law and order. But baby, between me and this Maker's Mark and this flat ass Coke that I got in this glass, ain't nobody did that but your damn husband, Nikki Minaj. Some couldn't even explain how they had the brand new card number, Nikki wrote. Nikki, blink twice if you scared to confront your husband. So you just had to throw it out on the internet and hope that he get his act together. Okay. Your credit card information got took. You got a new card number. One of 2 things happened. They either sent the new card number to your business manager, whoever helps manage your money and your portfolio, or they sent it to your house. And the only people who would be able to get access to your new card number would be your business manager if it went there, or somebody in your house. Nikki Minaj, your husband did that. Ain't nobody but your husband got hold. And why we in your fraud account business anyway? Now, let me be the first person to say, because of the way people have done me and with my history with cocaine use, you know what I'm saying? I am very careful about going out and saying, somebody on drugs, somebody on drugs. But I will say this, Nikki, it's giving very unstable. It's giving uncharacteristic behavior. And oftentimes when people go off of the deep end and they're volatile and they're unpredictable and their behaviors can't be explained and they're angry and aggressive all the doggone time, those are signs of drug abuse. Those are signs of drug abuse. Crashing out on industry professionals and industry leaders. And let's not get it twisted, sis. If you are being done wrong, by all means, fight. But sis, you got to fight the right way, in a way that doesn't make you look unstable and crazy. And this just does not look good for somebody of your stature. And if you're going for trying to be relatable and trying to be the around the way girl, you have definitely achieved it, because you are damn sure giving lowbrow ghetto girl from the projects in New York that'll fight a bitch in front of the store. That is what you're giving. Somebody said, or she's bipolar or schizophrenic. It could be that too. I ain't no doctor, but Nikki, um, regardless of if I get into all your music like that, and I don't because I'm old. That's all. I think you're great. I'm just old. You're too great for all of this, sis. Tighten up, tighten up, tighten up. And last but not least, on Nicki Minaj, I do want to clear up one thing because there seems to be this misconception online that Nicki Minaj is somehow going broke. And we've got to come to her defense and have some bit of journalistic integrity. This lady is not going broke. She's not remotely going broke. She got a lawsuit against her. The person won. She doesn't want to pay. And so the person is going through the proper legal channels to have liens or whatnot levied against her home in an effort to collect their judgment. Okay. So, y'all cut it out with the Nicki Minaj is going broke. Nicki Minaj is not going broke, but she does have a $20 million LA home. And that man said he want his money. He want to get paid for his pain. Supposedly he got beat up by Nicki's boyfriend at one point, and he's asking for the judge to sell her house to satisfy the judgment. He won a $500,000 assault situation, and he wants his money. Nicki Minaj could write that $500,000 check like it ain't nothing. And the reality of the situation is sometimes when you are a public person, it's just best to cut the check, take the blow to your ego, and let it be done so you can move on with your life. And Nicki, truthfully, it's 500,000, not 5 million. In all honesty, cut that man that check so you can get back on the up and up. Y'all can believe Nicki Minaj if y'all want to with all this, her album not coming out. That album is going to come out. If anything, mama is having a bit of a midlife crisis and, maybe having some doubt in terms of if it'll be as good or do up or do as good as Cardi's did, and you a little nervous or whatever. But that album is definitely going to come out. Cut it out. And the gag is, Nicki, if you chose to withhold your album, you ain't hurting nobody but your fans. You ain't hurting nobody but your fans. You ain't hurting the people that don't like you. The people that don't like you, all you doing is giving them more fodder. That bitch weak. She was scared of Cardi, so she pushed her album back. You ain't hurting nobody but the people that love and support you. You need to put your blinders on and you need to stop paying attention to the periphery and pay attention to those that love you. And guys, I want y'all to know I am talking to myself when I say this. Y'all have helped me realize sometimes, when I'm not operating at my best and I let some of these comments bother me from time to time because I'm human, but y'all have said it to me time and time again. Y'all have said, Q, you need to stop focusing on the one or two trolls in the comments and focus on all of the people that love you. And that's something that I'm beginning to have to practice my own self because I have come to realize, and it's taken me a lot of years to realize this, but Nicki, there is just going to be a group of people that are committed to not liking you. Q, there is just a group of people that are committed to not liking you, and there's never going to be anything you can do about that to change it. So knowing that that group of people is always going to exist and they are always going to be throwing tomatoes in your area, all you can do is focus on the people that love you. That's all. And Nicki, it's the same for you. Focus on the people that love you. Much like myself, Nicki, you have done a very good job in building a cult-like following. All right. The following that you have, Nicki Minaj, will follow you to the day you die. You don't even need no new fans. Focus on the people that love you. Stay out the fray, rise above, and let them people do whatever it is they're going to do. You going to always be all right. All right. Moving right along from Nicki Minaj, y'all, let's go on over to Brittney Spears. So Brittney Spears' ex-husband Kevin Federline alleges that Brittney Spears stood over their sleeping sons with a knife in a shocking memoir revelation. Um, the first thing that comes to my mind when we talk about Britney Spears is what more do y'all want from that girl? What more? What more? Like at this point, I don't respect Kevin Federline as a man. We go back to a man is supposed to protect and provide. And part of protecting that woman is protecting her offspring. It saddens me that it means more to Kevin Federline to collect and extort money out of Britney Spears than it does to protect whatever relationship and potential future relationship that his children could have with their mother. What happened to the rules of the street? Like, what happened to me and your mama getting a divorce, but I'm never going to say nothing bad about your mama or your daddy in front of you? Okay? Listen, it goes without saying Britney Spears is batshit crazy. All right? Anybody my damn age that spin around in they panties and they bra in an unkept house doing the same, that bitch ain't even doing an 8 count. She doing a 4 count. She ain't even doing a boom cat cat. She doing a boom cat. She not even doing a boom cat cat tap. That bitch, the only thing that crazy bitch could do is a boom cat spin. She riding there doing a boom cat spin in some Fisher Price panties that somebody bought from the liquidation sale at Kmart. All right. It goes without saying that this lady is crazier than a bed bug. Kevin, what more do you want out of her? Kevin, you mean to tell me that you sat up for all those years collecting that money and you ain't even did? Let me explain something to y'all. Some of y'all hoes in life, y'all just ain't never been broke enough. Y'all just ain't never been, y'all ain't never been broke enough. Money must have just flowed through y'all hands way too easy. Because the first thing I would have done had I had 2 children from Britney Spears, the first thing I would have did was when it got me a piece of place to stay. With the type of money and child support that he was getting from that lady, fine. You want to live high on the hog? You want to live nice? I would have went and got me a $1 million place to stay. That bad boy would have been paid off in a couple years. All the rest of that money that I was getting from Brittney, I would have been driving nice. I would have had my pieces. But when the money dried up, I would have been on had so much of that whole child support money sold up, I wouldn't have needed a damn thing from that bitch. I wouldn't have needed nothing. Honestly and truthfully, I always tell people this. At the point in which your house is paid off, you could go, I don't care who you are, I don't care what lifestyle you live. At the point in which your house is paid off, you could go ring the register at Target and be okay. At the point in which your house is paid off, you can go ring the register at Ross and fold towels and be okay. Like, only desperation makes you do this type of thing. How did you screw over all this money that now, later in life, now that the kids are grown, now you got to write memoirs? And here's the sad part. This memoir is an admission to yourself, the universe, and the readers out loud that you really are nothing. That it has to be a very humbling feeling to know that you cannot go out on the open market and make a single dime using your name, that you got to leverage a relationship from damn 20 years ago. Like Kevin Federline, nobody cares what you have to say about a relationship that ended with Britney Spears 15, 17, 18 damn years ago. She stood over the kids with knives. Okay. What you want us to do with that? It's becoming impossible to pretend that everything is okay. From where I sit, the clock is ticking, and we're getting close to the 11th hour, Federline writes. Something bad is going to happen if things don't change, and my biggest fear is that our sons will be left holding the pieces, Federline claims. His sons, Sean Preston, 20, and James, 19, sometimes woke up in the night to find their mother standing in the doorway with a knife, watching them sleep. Okay, Kevin, we need some more information. We need some more information, Kevin. How old were the kids when this happened? Was this when you and Brittney were together? Is this when the kids were 8 and 9 and 6 and 5? Because if so, Kevin, we've dealt with that already. All of that was swooped up under her initial conservatorship. Now, if you're telling us, Kevin, that this happened last month, if you're telling us that this happened last year, maybe, just maybe, we might have a little something to talk about. But even with that, those kids are grown. And if they ain't worrying about it, you shouldn't be worrying about it either. And the unfortunate thing is some unscrupulous publishing house is going to give him some half-baked ass book deal or whatever the case may be. Kevin, we don't care. We don't care. Now, Kevin, I will say this. You a good-looking man and you look like you got a big old dick. Get on OnlyFans and play with it. Or come down to Florida and do prostitution. Come down to Florida and do prostitution. Start a podcast. You just lazy. And I can even make an allowance for I'm fresh out of this relationship and I want to make money off of her, right? You can't be 10, 15, 18 years out of a relationship with somebody and still trying to make money off of it. Where's your new girlfriend and what does she have to say about all of this? Because if I was your new girlfriend, your new wife, your new whatever, I would feel some type of way. I would feel some type of way. Moving right along. Paris Jackson receives $65 million as Michael Jackson's estate defends attorney payouts. So, new court documents have revealed that Paris Jackson has received roughly $65 million from her father, Michael Jackson's estate, a figure that has become the central in her ongoing legal dispute with the estate's executors. On October 9th, filings respond to her objections over what she calls excessive premium payouts to attorneys during the 6-month period in 2018. In her petition, Paris lawyers argue that the law firms received $625,000 for unrecorded and uncaptured time without adequate explanation for why such the time was not properly documented. Even worse, these payments appear, at least in part, to consist of lavish gratuities bestowed upon already well-compensated counsel. The filing claimed she is seeking to have the 2010 court order allowing executors to pay attorneys without prior court approval rescinded, and rightfully so. So let me explain to y'all what's going on. This is a smear campaign if I have not seen one. Paris Jackson, I almost said Hilton, Paris Jackson is calling into question why the lawyers got paid so much. And in an effort to deflect, they're saying, well, hold on, bitch, you got $65 million. Don't be around here questioning our whatever. Look at her, y'all. She's trying to holler at us, but she got $65 million. Let me explain something to y'all, and let me explain something to y'all clearly. I wouldn't give a damn if she got every drop in the damn bucket. Those are his children. Those are his children. So you, legal counsel, you are not allowed to leverage what she got over her questioning what it is y'all got. And I believe every single word. So it'd be different if we were talking about 40,000, 50,000 unaccounted for. She wants to know why was $625,000 of her father's estate money paid to lawyers without any documentation to back it up. I don't think that there's anything wrong with asking about that. Now, I want to bring out something else that's very central to this case. Um, when Michael Jackson died, he was in debt. He was in debt, some crazy amount. And through the handling of his estate, the executors have gotten the estate to $2 billion in the positive. Okay. Now, it don't make it right, but there is a world where somebody could argue, bitch, we took this shit out the red and got it in the positive $2 billion. Girl, you could let us have this little 625,000. Because if it was not for us, your ass would be getting past due bill notices and not the $65 million that your ass done collected for simply existing and being white. There is a world where they could argue that. However, it still don't make it right. It still don't make it right for y'all to be siphoning off them people money. And then here's the other thing. And then got the nerve to get mad when that girl asked about it. Here is what I think the girl is asking for. Y'all had $625,000 in unexplained legal fees. Just give us the documentation and we can put this all to bed. And this is coming from a former corporate accountant. Give me the supporting documentation that justifies why y'all were able to get this additional $625 on top of what you're already being paid. And she already let it be known. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are already being paid handsomely. Y'all are already being paid premium, top of the top for what it is y'all are doing. What is this extra $625? And I don't think there's anything wrong with her or her counsel asking about it, regardless of what she got from it. That's her daddy money. Baby, if she wanted to get all of it and stick it up her ass and put the last $2 in her brassiere, that's up to her. Y'all need to explain where that adopted white lady money at. Y'all need to explain where that adopted white lady money at. Quiet as it's kept, they should have all went to Janet anyway. They should have let Janet delve it out. But Janet said, honey, she ain't have time for all that. She was too busy trying to do the pleasure principle and figure out where love goes. Apparently, it didn't go over there to Arabia where she was at with that man, but child, I got a question for y'all. How many of y'all, much like me, come from humble beginnings that if the state gave you $65 million, you honestly wouldn't give a damn what they did with the rest of it? I ain't gonna lie to you. If my siblings called me and said, Q, we just got the annual printout and $625,000 of daddy money missing, I ain't gonna lie to you. After getting paid out $65 million, bitch, it wouldn't be the first thing on my list. I'd be like, are y'all sure? Are y'all, because they've been doing a good job. Are y'all sure? Like, before we start all of this, and look, they did get the estate up to $2 billion. They are doing a good job. Are you sure we want to kick up a whole lot of sand? But again, that's me coming from being broke growing up. They started out rich. So none of them girls say they want all they doggone money. Go ahead. I guess that's her Karen genes kicking in about her daddy money. We're going to move right along to Diddy, y'all. So they say Diddy must reportedly submit to random searches and will have to participate in drug abuse and mental health programs following being released from prison. Terms of Diddy's release have reportedly been disclosed, and he will have his hands tied for 5 years after being released from prison. According to TMZ, Diddy must submit to random searches, and he's not allowed to contact any victims in his case for any reason. He will also have to participate in outpatient treatment programs for drug abuse and mental health issues. They claim he must take any prescribed medications unless medical professionals advise otherwise. He can't. Diddy is also required to complete a domestic violence program, which isn't surprising considering the footage of him attacking Cassie in the hotel hallway. He's further prohibited from owning a firearm or any type of destructive device. If you recall, Diddy was sentenced to 50 months after being found guilty on 2 counts of violating the Mann Act. He was acquitted of the sex trafficking and racketeering charges. I don't see anything wrong with this. You the one who wrote letters to the judge. You said you're a changed man. You said that, you've learned your lesson. For those of you guys out there who don't participate in drugs, I'm pretty sure y'all would have no problem taking random drug tests because you know you're going to pass. That's just like me right now when they be saying shit like Big Brother's watching or the feds are watching, or it don't bother me that the feds are watching. They say, oh, they looking through y'all iPhones. It don't bother me that the police or the feds might be looking through my damn iPhone because all they gonna find is Uber Eats orders. And if they gonna take me to jail for spending $40 and $50 on every meal that I have delivered, they might as well send me to the chain gang down to the Shawshank Redemption. For people who are not doing drugs, especially you got away with murder. Like Diddy, compared to everything that you did, you got away. You got away. If you are truly changed, it would suggest to me that you would actually want these parameters put in place to help you stay on track. If my concern was getting back to my life, getting back to the people that I loved, getting back to making music, getting back to rebuilding my name and my legacy, child, please, that shit wouldn't bother me. That shit would not bother me because I wouldn't have no intentions on doing no more drugs. I wouldn't have no intentions on bullying any more damn people. And going back to my earlier commentary at the top of the show about Nicki Minaj needing to go spin the block real quick, I honestly think after being in jail for 50 months, being able to go back to Miami and just lay down and sunbathe in the backyard of your multi-million Star Island home, that should be enough. Like, I would have so much gratitude in my heart. I ain't gonna lie to you. I wouldn't want to go to no parties. I wouldn't want to be around nobody. I would just be thanking God that I got out of jail. I still have multi-millions left, and I still got at least one property I can go sunbathe at. Leave me the hell alone. Leave me the hell alone. If I was Diddy, by the time I got out of this, all I would want is a good steak dinner and a glass of water. I won't want no liquor. Maybe I'll take a little bit of Pinot Gris. I wouldn't want none of it. I would be so thankful. I would be so thankful. I would be my children's permanent babysitter. Bring them kids around here, leave them kids around here. Baby, I would be in my backyard and in my kitchen baking cookies and making bread from scratch. My new addiction would be buying shit off of QVC and HSN. I'm telling you. So this is being presented as like it's a story, like it's some huge undertaking that's going to require so much adjustments, and like it's just infringing. If you don't have no intentions on doing anything wrong, then I don't understand what the problem is. Moving right along, guys, to our second to last story. This crazy man in New York was arrested after allegedly kidnapping a woman and forcing her to go across country on a crime spree. The victim says she was burnt with cigarettes and a curling iron in an attempt to make her cooperate and repay her debt. So according to the Law and Crime, 28-year-old Rashawn Govantes tortured a 51-year-old woman by burning her with cigarettes and curling irons in an attempt to get her to cooperate with the crime spree. The trip came to an end after police received a call about a suspicious couple loitering in front of a Chino Hills Sephora. Govantes and the woman were taken into custody, where she detailed the horrific events that had taken place prior to being detained. She claimed she was kidnapped and forced to travel across country in an attempt to commit fraud throughout the United States to repay debts that she owed. During the investigation, police discovered evidence of the alleged fraud scheme. Authorities have decided not to release the woman's identity out of concern for her safety, and they believe Govantes may have other victims. Govantes remains in custody in San Bernardino County Jail without bond and thoughts. So I have so many questions, and I hate when we get stories like this, but we don't get all the details. So, immediately what's going through my mind when you say kidnapped and driven cross country, and you're saying things like they caught you in front of a Sephora and you're 51 years old. First thing going through my mind, if you were kidnapped and he's taking you to these different various places, and if you're in front of a goddamn Sephora, why didn't you scream like a banshee? If he did not have you locked away in a bunker somewhere, why did you not scream like a banshee in order to get help? That's number one. Number two, when we talk about debts, what type of debts? This is giving drugs. This is giving 51-year-old woman on drugs, mental faculties not all there. Secondly or thirdly, I want to know what type of fraud were y'all committing? Were y'all going in Sephora, returning stolen makeup? I just have so many questions, but I will say this. I am glad that she is free, and that's a strong-ass 28. And the nigga looked crazy. He looked like he actually could be kind of cute if you clean him up a little bit or whatever. You trim that beard a little bit, give him more of a close shave. He actually looked like he could be kind of handsome up under all of that. It's just a whole lot going on. Somebody said prostitution going wrong. Somebody said she could have gotten away. She was getting high with them. Oh yeah, it's definitely giving. There was a lot of drugs involved in this relationship or whatever. Somebody said he could have been threatening her family. Also could be drugs. I agree with you. I agree with you. I agree with you. And last but not least, guys, I want to tell y'all something. I shared with y'all a long time ago that there are two ways that you are no longer permitted to step to somebody, okay? In 2025, you can no longer step to somebody woman to woman, and you can no longer step to somebody in the spirit. The spirit told me to, or woman to woman. Them two ways to get you fucked up. Whether you the one being stepped to or whether you the one doing the stepping. In 2025, things never go well when you try to step to somebody woman to woman. And in this next story, this lady drove from New York to Florida. An ex-girlfriend trying to confront the boyfriend's new girlfriend, woman to woman, and ended up stabbing that lady to death. And now she done found herself slain in the prison for a lifetime. Take a look and a listen.
State prosecutors questioned Sakina Thompson about why she stabbed Kayla Hodgson to death inside of Hodgson's Tamarack home 3 years ago. Thompson told jurors she went to Hodgson's apartment uninvited to talk woman to woman about dating the same man. Thompson claims Hodgson attacked her.
Punching me.
Punching you where?
My face.
Where on your face? Point to it for us.
I don't remember, but everywhere on
You
my
don't
face.
remember where she was punching you in your face?
In my face.
I mean, this is why you killed her, right?
No.
Right?
No.
It's not?
No.
You didn't kill her because she was fighting you?
No, I killed her because she took the glass from the hookah and slashed me across my stomach.
Thompson says she was 2 months pregnant at the time. She says Hodgson cut her stomach with a piece of glass. Thompson grabbed the glass and then blacked out. She allegedly awoke to Hodgson dead on the floor. Gruesome autopsy photos of Hodgson's body show she was stabbed dozens of times.
I wasn't really walking over the blood, I was walking in the blood.
You walked in the blood?
Yes.
With what shoes?
The BB shoes. I changed my shoes.
Thompson admitted to changing into the victim's clothes, cleaning up some of the crime scene, and being too scared to call police. She also threw evidence in the trash.
No, she's getting close enough because my jacket was cut up.
Okay, your jacket was cut up?
My jacket was cut up.
Okay, and what'd you do with that jacket?
Threw it away.
In the months leading up to the killing, Thompson admitted to getting upset when Hodgson blocked her on social media. The state says she was upset enough to kill.
You wrote her on IG, and she, in fact, ignored your message initially, correct?
Correct.
And that made you angry.
Correct.
You know, Hodgson lost this case when she drove from New York to Florida. When you traveled from New York to Florida, that's when Hodgson lost the case. Now, it would have been a difference if Hodgson lived in the Bronx and the other girl lived in Brooklyn. That makes sense. Whether you drove from New York to Florida, you flew, or you took the Amtrak, somewhere during that span of travel, nothing in your mind clicked and said, girl, go home. Or nothing said, girl, while you down there in Florida, girl, go to Disney World. Like, nothing said, girl, go down there to South Beach and whatever. And listen, I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt. I am. Now you went down there to confront that girl, woman to woman, and she should have beat your ass because you came to her house. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. I ain't gonna lie to you. I live in Atlanta. If you live in Atlanta and you come knock on my door about my man, I might let you live. I might close the door. I might laugh. I might throw some water on you. I might just be like, girl, get your ass off my porch before I call the police. But if you travel hours to get to me, I gotta whoop your ass. I just do, because you too bold. You too bold. Like, ho, you don't travel from, so Tamarack, guys, is outskirts of Fort Lauderdale. It's just, Tamarack is Fort Lauderdale, Florida, or whatever. You travel from New York to Fort Lauderdale to bam on this girl door about her man. Rule number one, I'm not arguing with no bitch about no nigga that don't belong to me. You went and bammed on that girl door to confront her about a man that did not even belong to you. That's when you, like, girl, you was finna get life in prison long before you even killed the girl. You lost your case when you went from New York to Fort Lauderdale. You lost the case when you went to confront that girl about a man that didn't belong to y'all. Now, that's already crazy. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I do believe her when she said she blacked out. I do believe her when she says she blacked out. I do. Because the fact that you came from New York to Florida, that's already crazy. Where you went wrong was that you didn't immediately call the police. You tried to clean it up. You changed into the girl clothes. That the case was lost. I honestly do believe you would have had a chance in hell if you would have called the police and been like, oh my God, something crazy just happened, and you would have just still been found in all the stuff. You would have had a chance in hell. And then stabbed the girl to death with some hookah stuff. And they said now the man is engaged. Let me ask y'all a question. How many of y'all, let's tell the truth. How many of y'all right now in a situation over a dude that you really do want to go bam on somebody doing, confront them woman to woman? Put me in the chat. I just want to see how many of y'all in fucked up relationships. How many of y'all listening to me right now that like you on the verge of going around that whole house and bamming on her door and asking her to come outside so you could talk to her woman to woman? It's 8,200 of y'all in the chat. Sonia say she flew there. She didn't drive. Equally as crazy. Equally as, it don't matter if she walked there. Equally as crazy. I want to know how many of y'all right now, and tell the truth, y'all on the verge of wanting to go around somebody's house and bam on their door by the man. Okay, everybody saying not me. Okay, not everybody in the chat sophisticated and classy base. Everybody classy base. Okay, let's do this. I'll fix it. How many of y'all done ever went around somebody's house and bammed on their door by the man? Now, let's see the thing flood out. How many of y'all don't ever went around somebody's house and bammed on their door by the man? I want to see. Shelly said, I definitely reached out and exposed his ass. James Luan said, I'm on the way right now. How many of y'all don't ever went and bammed on somebody's door? Peanut 2335 said me. Somebody said, I just fought a bitch on Sunday. We got quite a few me's in the chat. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all better have been under the age of 25. Y'all better have been under the age of 25. Y'all better have been. I can honestly say I have been spared. I have never had to do anything like that. I have never, I have honestly, let me back up by saying, and it might be a statistics thing. I've only ever been in 2.5 serious relationships in my whole life. I've only ever been in 2.5 serious relationships in my whole life, including the one that I'm in right now. And the one I'm in right now is the most serious. I have never, though, dealt with, I'm lying. When I was with Barrett, them boys did come, they did come take a knife to my soft top. I'm lying. I was with a nigga, the older nigga I was with. I had a convertible Sebring and I was parked at his house. And when I came outside the next day to go to work, somebody had took a knife to the soft top of my car. And to this day, I can't prove who it was, but it had to be somebody that he was messing with or one of his exes. But that's his worst. I ain't never had nobody call me. I ain't never, quiet as it's kept, I was always the one cheating, but that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. Nevertheless, y'all, I'm finna get in here and order me something to eat. I've been in the house all day and the girl's trying to get me to go out to the bar, but I know if I go to the bar, I'm gonna regret it tomorrow. So I'm gonna stay my ass in the house. I'm finna get in here and get me something to eat. And I'll call y'all later. Bye.